There's a line in your prologue where you call this book the hardest thing you have ever written. What was the moment you knew you had to write it?
It actually was during a conversation I had with Dr. Lown, and when he was being not treated well at the end of his life, and we had this conversation, and he looked at me and he said, he said, you've had a stellar career, Peter. We're very proud of what you've done, but you have to give something back. And you have to give more back. And we talked about this, and I said, well, how about talking about the system that we're so disappointed? And he said that would be an excellent idea, and I think that's where it germinated. The other thing that he did that I copied was he was a storyteller, and you mentioned this earlier in our conversation, Tom. But storytelling in medicine is an ancient art. We use stories all the time in teaching in medicine. And I thought that the most effective way to convey this, both to people in the lay people as well as the people in the profession, was to maybe tell some stories.
Why do you think stories stick and facts and figures don't always stick?
Well, I think it's the way you were talking about brain wiring. I think that's the way our brain is wired, that we tend to remember things that are cohesive, that are not just little bullet points. I was never really very good, by the way, at memorizing and what are the 10 things that you see in this particular disease. I would never did well with that stuff. But if you related it to something else that I was familiar with, as I did in the stories, it tended to stick.
Yeah, I think there's some clues there for my audience because of all these recognition awards I told you about up front. We use narrative story on the podcast, and it's true. People they get emotionally connected. It's all story.